Welcome to Broom Talk, the podcast where witches, healers, and magic makers gather to share their journeys, their magic, and their truths. I'm your host, Priestess Mellisa of Enchanted Dragonfly, inviting you to take a seat in the broom circle because the real magic is in the stories we tell. So let's stir the cauldron and speak the spell. So I have another magical being with me today. So tell us your name and your business name.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My name is Adriana Keefe. Don't have a fun business name, really, but people know me as the Human Design Priestess.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Awesome. And could you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. So I work with women specifically who are really ready to stop negotiating with their truth. They want to understand who they are, who they were born to be, their true essence. And the name, the Human Design Priestess, just came because I use human design, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with human design, but
a little bit.
People around here, not so much. It's like astrology on steroids. It is a bunch of ancient systems in one. But that's not the only tool I use. I'm also apprenticing as a priestess, and I have a whole box of tools that I use. So since the word coach never felt like it fit and expert never felt like it fit, I realized I could just use the word that I'm actually practicing as. So that's what I really work with people on.
I love that. That's awesome. And could you tell us where your business is located?
I am in Uxbridge, Massachusetts, but I work virtually. So I literally have clients in New Zealand and Mexico, and they could be anywhere.
I love that. It's all over the world. Right?
Yeah.
And there's so many walks of path of different women, but we all seem to have that same right in our hearts, right?
Oh, yes.
I love that.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. How did you start doing what you do?
Oh, that is a loaded question.
I love it. We love blood. It's like a baked potato. We love it.
Right? Well, long story short, when I was pregnant with my second daughter, I was in what I now know is my Saturn return. It was around 27, and everything on my life from the outside looked great, and everything on the inside just felt awful. I was in real estate, and I was very successful, but I was very miserable on the inside. So I started hiring life coaches and people who could help me along my path, and one of them introduced me to this thing called human design, which I was actually very against because I thought it was a personality test. And I didn't love personality tests because of my history of a lot of childhood trauma and abuse. And if you take personality tests, you can get different results at different points of your life because I wasn't authentic to who I was born to be. But this was like you just put in your birth date and a whole bunch of information populated about me. And I felt seen for the first time in my entire life. And of course, it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies. It's a whole path of learning who I am, who I was born to be, and deconditioning from what I was taught. But over time, slowly but surely, people started asking me to read their charts. And then the more I healed through human design, the more I recognized my innate gifts and the power I had to heal from my own sexual trauma and help other women do the same. So I have a big focus on womb healing, and that's what led me to ancient feminine studies and Kundalini energy and all of that. So
it goes back so far.
So far.
Right? Some people don't realize how, and I'm talking, when I say far, I'm talking tens of thousands of years, some instances even hundreds of thousands of years. People don't, they're like, but
there were civilizations, I understand.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna die on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I'm a big fan of ancient history, so yes, I will go down that hole gladly with a snack.
I love snacks.
Me too. So what type of practitioner are you?
Oh wow. Labels always felt hard for me. But if I could put what I do into a type, I would overall say I'm an energy worker.
Nice.
Even though I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was trained in Reiki, but only Reiki 1, and I never specifically used that. And I just learned over time that the methods and the intuitive things I was feeling the nudge to do were helping women. And I just let that flow, kind of just like let it unleash. So you really will never get the same session with me twice. It is just energy.
Yeah, because everybody's different. Right?
Yep.
What is your spiritual origin story or an awakening moment?
Yeah. This is a good one because for someone who doesn't know me, they meet me and they see what I do. They see I'm intuitive and a medium and a priestess, and they think that I was doing this my whole life. And when I was a child, I did channel spirit. I didn't remember that until my family reminded me of that a few years ago. I was actually raised in a Christian family, but I never related to it. You know, I would always try and go back to the Bible to try and understand what was happening to me as a child. And it was not there for me. So after years, I considered myself agnostic or atheist. I was like, there's nothing out there. Why would this happen to me? And then human design is really what opened me up to all of this. I have a very scientific brain. I went to school for veterinary. So when I started with energy stuff, spirituality, it was from the lens of science, you know, like Dr. Joe Dispenza and like all the heart math, like that kind of stuff. And that cracked me open. And then I started seeing magic in my everyday life. And I was like, this is real. That's so weird. And over time, I just became more and more spiritual, more and more connected. I'd say my spiritual awakening was probably only about like 5 years ago. Yeah, definitely triggered with the birth of my second child or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like with the, you say, you know, deprogramming and there's so much in our ears and do this, don't do that, don't do this. And it's, and now with science, it's being recognized also like as magic and one and the same, right? And it's like being able to capture it like aura photography and you can see the chakras now, right? Yeah. And it's where they couldn't see that before. And I'm getting goosebumps with this. I love this. What's your daily spiritual or magical practice like?
So for anyone who knows human design, I'm a manifesting generator, which means we are like drunk butterflies. Every day has to be like a different challenge. Like I've got a lot of energy. So having a very structured, rigid, monotonous routine, that makes me feel disconnected. So what actually reorients me back to like here is allowing myself to be like, what feels really good and pleasurable for me today. And so a couple hours ago, I was sitting with cacao in front of my altar and I was doing just some nervous system work and calming myself and doing some journaling. But some days, like last week, have you ever done booty movement, booty yoga?
No, but that sounds fun.
It's very tribal. It's very fierce. Ooh. It's amazing. They do it right down at JTB Wellness in Uxbridge. And that, for me that day, that was my ritual. Because it's like shaking and very aura cleansing. So it really depends on the day.
Yeah. That sounds intriguing. I love anything tribal. Like I'm there. Yeah. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Who or what inspires your path the most?
The most. Oh, I have so many people that I look up to.
Like what pops in your head first?
The first that pops into my head is the goddess Isis. While she's not currently here living amongst us, I feel very connected to her and her work every day. Mary Magdalene. To be honest, I'm still very much trying to find a living person who emulates really what I want to do with my life. So I'm still on that path of finding someone who expands me in that way. Yeah. Right now I lean a lot on the goddess archetypes.
Nice. Yeah, you keep vibrating that feel out there, that energy out there, and they're going to align right with you. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready.
Yes. What's the biggest challenge you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome it?
The first time I ever had cacao, it reopened my childhood abuse, and not so much in a bad way, but in a you're here to help women with this. And that felt way bigger than me. And that almost made me collapse on the inside, being like, how am I supposed to guide other people? You know, I don't have a degree in psychology. I'm not someone who can say this. And one of the best things that helped me through this, I have a wonderful coach, and she's my coach back then too. And she was like, who can guide someone better through this? Someone who's read about it in a book or someone who's lived it and been healed from it. And so that it took me some time for sure to recognize like the actual power that I hold with that. I was very scared of that. But after maybe a year or so, I finally started helping women with it. And even then I was still nervous, but the results that women saw from that, I couldn't go back after that. I was like, oh, this is amazing. But it took a lot. I mean, a lot came up. A lot of nervous system stuff came up.
Yeah. Well, I'm very sorry that you had to experience that. But on the other side of that, I'm happy that you were able to heal from that as well and now help others. And I always felt like if you're working with somebody, it's nice to have that experience where you can help them. Not nice to have gone through it, but nice to have be in their shoes, so to speak. You know where they're coming from. You know what they're talking about, what they're feeling, right? Yeah.
I know I went through it for a purpose.
Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Didn't help until you happened for you. Right? Yeah. Different eyes, I always say that.
Yeah, exactly.
What tools, methods, or spirits guide your work?
One of the first tools that I still love using to this day, because I have a very sciencey brain, is called tapping, emotional freedom technique. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You're literally just tapping on certain acupressure points on your body. And this is clinically researched for veterans with PTSD. And so I was like, oh, great. That sounds like it works for me. And I still use it to this day.
That's awesome.
Other than that, movement is always medicine. I do it with me, I do it for my clients. Movement, and what would be a top third that I use all the time? Journaling. Just the power of the subconscious that you can tap into when you're writing. It's beautiful.
Nice. That is wonderful. Like, do you feel that movement helps like a release, right?
Oh, yes. And it just changes your frequency. It just changes your energy entirely.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to capture that on camera. Huh?
I know.
How do you stay energetically protected and grounded?
Yeah, this is something I'm still very much learning.
Yeah, always be a student.
My goodness, I've gotten so much more sensitive over the years. So my favorite is every day I picture like a golden pyramid around me. And then when I'm doing my heart meditation, I visualize like a pink bubble around me. But often when I'm talking to clients, I'll be sitting there holding a grounding stone, just playing with it in my hands, something along those lines. And if I do still find myself a little overstimulated, I usually go back to my tapping or some sort of breath work.
Nice. What's one common misconception about your craft or your work?
Ooh. Let's see. Well, with human design, a big misconception is that it's a personality test. I get that one all the time. And with my work as a priestess, it's the biggest misconception or question I get is, is this a religion? Or is this something that, I have to be put into a box with? And I think that's the best part of being a priestess, is it's just bringing the mystical into the material. It's just a practical, everyday, who do you want to be and who do you want to connect with kind of energy.
Nice. Can you share a powerful or memorable client transformation without names, of course?
Oh, yes, because she's still a client as of this day. She was actually the first round of that sacral healing, that womb healing work that I was just talking about. She was in, the second round. And have you ever heard of PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder?
I have heard of that. I didn't know the acronym, but yeah.
I think people are just now learning that this is a thing. But basically around the time of their cycle, there's some neural things. It's a brain issue is what they say. And I had a client who had that and struggled so much, and she was struggling with her marriage. It was breaking her and her marriage apart, and she didn't like who she was as a mom. It's very difficult. I mean, because it's the emotions, the mood swings are a lot. And by the end of the 6 months of us doing that sacral work together, she had healed from PMDD. Nice. And she's still, to this day, she's still a client of mine. She is still not struggling with PMDD. She actually teaches people with PMDD.
That's awesome. Yeah. I had recently watched, or like it was like an interview, but they talked about when women are going through their cycle, they're literally, shredding parts of their insides, and that triggers a trauma or being injured response in women's brains and our wiring cycle. So for the people to go through certain trauma, it affects everybody different. So that totally makes sense.
Yep. It's very wild.
Yeah. What sacred self-care practices keep you aligned?
I'm a big bubble bath taker. Actually, I shouldn't say bubble. Salt bath taker. Salt bath taker. Yes.
Salt bubbles could be a thing.
Yeah, I know. I should do that too. Yeah. Other than that, I think my second one is probably one that everyday people might not consider sacred, but it's going to my yoga studio for the community and being together as we move throughout the day. That's very sacred. That's very important for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
What does success look like to you as a spiritual business owner?
This has changed a lot over recent years. Yeah. Because you especially, I do a lot of podcasting, I do a lot of speaking, and especially back when I was first starting, they would often ask, are you a 6-figure business, a 7-figure business? And I'd be like, why is everyone so attached to how much money I make? Because I could make 6 figures, but maybe 90% of that was on ads, that I was spending. And so I used to think that was what the measure of success was like having X amount of income. And now I realize it's just enough income, flexibility, visibility, just to feel free, whatever that looks like for me. I still have 3 young kids at home, and I don't want to be working 40 plus hours a week. I want it to feel creative and fun and playful, and that I get to be resourced because I'm using my gifts for the world, and that I get to feel a sense of like overflow and magic just because I am existing. I've always joked I just want to get paid to exist, and that's kind of what I get to do now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get paid for your magic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you follow the moon, astrology, or seasonal cycles in your work?
Yes to all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check and check.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm more specifically devoted to one or another. Within human design, they have transits just like astrology too. But I like a combination of it all. And I kind of follow what I'm feeling led to in that moment. So some seasons I'm focused very heavily on the moon. Right now, I would say I'm more focused on the astrological seasons and like the actual energy I feel with like Aries on the start of the new year. So it totally depends, I guess, on my mood.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your mood compared to in connection with what's going on in the cycles for the seasons and the moons. Oh yeah, that's a big party. What's something you wish more people knew about energy work, divination rituals, what have you?
That you're playing with this energy all the time.
Yeah.
And you're probably using some form of divination on your own without even knowing it. I mean, you don't need a pendulum swinging back and forth. You could just be using something random or asking for signs from the universe when you're driving. Like all of this exists all the time and you're probably already using it. So maybe paying a little bit more attention to what you're doing, being more intentional with that energy, then you'd actually start seeing a shift in what you receive back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It's like when you manifest for something for abundance, for example, you want to make sure abundance of what? Because you can get abundance of paper clips if you're not careful.
Be specific. Yes.
This is not what I was looking for. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody starting their path, what would it be?
To trust themselves or to learn how to trust themselves.
Isn't that the thing?
That's the thing. I mean, when I first started, I was just starting as a life coach, a general life coach. And I am the most coachable person. You tell me what to do. I mean, I have a Capricorn stellium. I have so much like, I will do it. I will do the thing. And that worked for me for the time. But what I realized was I was building things in a way that worked for someone else. And that wasn't actually ideal for my energy or what felt good for me. So over time, the more I began to trust myself and my intuition, my decisions, everything just felt like so much more flow. But that would be my biggest thing is to like, if you have a coach or a mentor, someone who means so well and is telling you to do something and you really don't feel good, it doesn't feel like the best use of your energy, then trust yourself and experiment with what else could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. Yeah. What magic are you currently brewing in regards to any classes you're teaching, events you're attending or doing? Or?
Yeah, this Friday in Southbridge, there's a beautiful spa called Curly Karma Spa. And they're a salon, but they mix metaphysical with it. So like for pedicures, they do like tarot and toes. It's awesome. So fun. You should go check them out. Yes. I know it's a haul, but so they asked me to host a full moon women's circle Friday night. So I'm doing that this Friday. And other than that, I'm playing with the world of money more recently, which I never thought I'd be teaching about money or anything like that. But a lot has come up with me with money and teaching people. So just starting to dance with it right now with a couple of private clients and seeing how that goes. Other than that, I mean, I have my community is virtual and in person called the Magnetic Rebellion. And I'm always in there playing with them.
That's awesome. The Magnetic Rebellion.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's my favorite. Yes.
And I think the teaching about money is great. I feel like a lot of people, it's not that they are irresponsible. I feel like there's not enough education or knowledge about that. So
especially to women.
Awesome. Yeah. Sometimes we rely too much on our partners or I had read a story where a woman solely relied on her husband and he passed away and he didn't show her how to even pay a phone bill. She didn't know what to do. Yeah. So I think that education is important. Yeah. Just basic survival, if anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I have some fun questions.
Ooh. I mean, those were all fun too, but
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. What's your sun, moon, and rising sign?
I am a Taurus sun, Scorpio moon, Leo rising.
Nice. Yes, fiery and spicy.
Could you tell my Leo rising just by my outfit?
Not at all. Do you have a favorite crystal, herb, or tool that you always work with?
I love crystals so much. That I work with the most. I love lepidolite, which is why when you have the earrings here, I was like, oh, I need to get that. But I also have a lot of hematite. I really like hematite for me.
Yeah, that whole tight line, right?
No,
Adelaide, hematite.
Yes, you're right. I didn't even put that together.
All the ice,
anything that ends in
all the
ice.
ice. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Oh, carnelian. Carnelian has also been really powerful for me with my womb.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. What is your magical nickname or an archetype that you resonate with?
Magical nickname. This is interesting that you ask this question because just last week in my sister circle in my apprenticeship, we were talking about reclamation of names. You know, my name is Adriana, but all my life I went by Anna until just a couple years ago. And I was like, I feel like I'd really like to reclaim my full name. I used to not like my full name. I don't know why. Kids.
Yes.
But I recognize like it feels like a powerful feminine. It means like dark warrior goddess.
Nice.
Like my last name, my maiden name means war, and so my whole name is like dark warrior princess or something like that.
Awesome.
So I've actually been focusing on reclaiming that, and so I would call that my magical name.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's unique to you. So
yeah.
Tea or tincture?
Tea, because So I was going to say, I don't have much experience with tinctures. However, I do take a flower remedy every day. I just don't make it myself.
Right. It's still a tincture.
Still a tincture.
Yeah.
And I use them for, I guess you consider biohacking. I mean, they've helped me come off of anxiety meds years ago. And I take them for all different reasons. I have different seasons with the ones I'm taking. So that's tough. That's a tough one. Yeah. I love both.
Yeah. I mean, herbology is underrated. So
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tarot or runes?
I have no experience with runes, but I'm very fascinated. I think there's something in my history or my lineage connected to that because I felt called. I don't specifically read tarot, but I want to learn it. I usually use oracle cards, but I do connect with tarot for sure.
Nice. Cauldron or candle?
Candle. Although I can see a cauldron coming for me soon too.
Put your candle in your cauldron.
Yeah, right. I can see that.
If your spirit guide had a voice, what would it sound like?
She would have like a powerful, very sensual. I don't even know if I could make the voice, but it would be very, I mean, I'm thinking goddess Isis. Like,
I can picture that.
Not demanding, commanding, big, but also, yes, but also feminine at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like as women, we're rare creatures where we can be both strong and soft at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And do you have any pets?
Oh, I went to school for veterinary, so I have a lot of animals all the time. Right now we have 2 dogs, 3 cats, 2 guinea pigs. We have new chicks coming because unfortunately our last chickens all were taken by wildlife.
Oh,
yeah, well, sad day. That was a sad day.
I'm sorry.
Me too. And every few months or so we have a foster puppy in the house. So could depend on the day.
Yeah. That's awesome. So that was all the questions I had for you. Was there anything else you would like to talk about?
Oh, I could keep going forever and ever and ever. I would just like to add that for anyone listening, whatever tiny little thing I said or that you said that they felt called to explore, that they could go do that. Like just to have fun with the magic. I literally see like a little genie's lamp in front of me over there. And I was like, I just want someone to play. Whoever is listening to this, I just spend the year playing with magic and with energy and just see what happens. We take things way too seriously right now. And we really need to balance like the deep shadow work with something that feels really light and playful and magical. So just to add that little piece.
Yeah, go dance with the flowers or in the field, or just sit up against a tree, or go for a walk and you see those rocks on the ground. Pick it up, bring it home. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, this was great. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, and do you have I'm going to put a link in the description for them to find you. Was that your Instagram? Do you have a website?
Yeah. My website is just adrianakeefe.com,
Okay.
Adriana with one N. Instagram, I'm Adri Keefe, ADRI Keefe. And then I have a podcast called the No BS Human Design Podcast.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll put your website link in the description, and the links to your podcast and Instagram on your website. And then I'll put it in the description. And as always, so go check her out and go get a human design done. You will not regret it. Come visit us at Enchanted Dragonfly. We are a metaphysical shop at 99 Church Street in Whitinsville, Massachusetts. Give this podcast episode some love. Like the episode, follow the channel, share with your friends so they can share with their friends. And as always, blessed being. We love you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.